Alright, so I'm on my way home from a tutoring session. I tutor a girl in college algebra. She goes to a local community college. And it's another one of those situations where I can't believe what college instructors are forcing people to do in order to pass this class. I really don't see the point in what's going on. We're graphing, alright, so it's basically a high school level Algebra 2 class. Maybe plus a little bit more. And honestly, it's even studying the stuff that she's studying in the high school level is bad enough. She's somebody who's returning to college after a couple of years. So she's been out of the loop for a while, and when you go to college algebra, yeah, I guess it all just gets thrown at you. We're doing this esoteric stuff with, if you even know, we're graphing rational functions and polynomials, and we're doing things like we're graphing parabolas and finding axes of symmetry and vertical asymptotes and horizontal asymptotes and slant asymptotes and counting numbers of zeros, like all these things that really don't amount to too much to a whole lot of people. I saw some other work there that asks for solving systems of equations, solving matrix equations using this thing called Cramer's rule, which I don't even remember. I mean, I've heard of it, and it probably came up at some point when I was teaching algebra years and years ago. But this isn't stuff that comes up every day or is of any concern to pretty much anybody outside of like high-level math field people. I just don't see the point in doing it. And I'm doing this tutoring and I'm making money. But it's a bizarre kind of construct to me. I was talking to this girl because we're making some conversation about what I do. Private tutoring is my third job. I actually have 3 jobs. I tutor privately, and I tutor for a franchise, and I work in a kitchen. And we get to talking, and I told her that I used to be a teacher, and blah, 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 and I taught high school, and I could teach college if I wanted, and I did at some point. And so she's asking me, she says, well, why are you tutoring? Why don't you just be a college teacher? And I'm looking at the stuff that they're doing. I'm looking at the stuff that she's taking home. She's got to go through and quote unquote learn. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, yeah, I guess I could make a living teaching college like this, but getting up in front of people and forcing them to learn algebra for credit, which I know they're not going to use, is just not the way that I want to make a living. I know that I could make money from it, but honestly, it seems like I would be a part of a racket. I mean, look, I generally want to help people, and if there's some kind of like remedial math where you've been out of college for a while and you want to get back into it, but you just need some basic math skills, I would be all over that. That's something that I would like doing because the people would have something to actually gain from it. But I'm looking at the subjects that I'm tutoring, and the whole thing just seems like a giant scam to me. And I can't, it's that kind of stuff that keeps me from wanting to be a public school teacher. I taught for 12 years in private high schools. I don't have my certification. I'm not certified to be a public school teacher, so I can't teach in a public school. But even still, students who I get for my franchise tutoring job, all they do is trash talk their teachers. All right, sorry there. So what I was... All right, I had to stop that. But what I was basically saying was that when you're, as a tutor, I hear a lot of trash talk on teachers. I hear about how honors teachers are too hard on their students, and that how they demand a high level from their students, and look, I understand all that. I get it. I've been there. I did it for a long time. I was that person for a long time. I have regrets about being that person, but it sours the being a tutor sours the idea of being a teacher for me, because I don't want to be that person who the kids are complaining about, and I don't want to be a teacher where the students have to go outside of the school to get what they need, right? I mean, there are some people who go to tutoring clubs and who ask for tutoring in order to stay ahead or in order to maintain their grades and things like that. But there are others where they're there because the teachers are just inadequate. They're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not genuinely helping anybody. They're not making the material seem to be worth learning. And it makes me not want to be a teacher again. I mean, every so often I flirt with the idea of going and getting my certification and being a public school teacher. But then I just get this onslaught of people who just think, nah, man, my teacher sucks. And it's just, if you're in a group, if I'm tutoring more than one student who has the same teacher, they always got a lot to say about that person. It's always trash talk. And I just don't want to be that person. And I feel like in a lot of cases the teachers are sort of forced into being that way because there's a curriculum that they have to teach, they have to stick to, but it's not really helping anybody. And those are just my thoughts that I'm left with every time I leave a tutoring session. I think, wow, this is not something that I ever want to get back into. I wouldn't want to be a public school teacher or a college professor who was forcing people to really just jump through hoops just for the sake of jumping through hoops, and so I could collect a paycheck. That's just not the kind of person that I want to be. So anyway, I just thought I would share my thoughts because it's the way I feel after being a tutor for a couple of months now. I'm seeing this a lot, and I don't think I'm going to stop seeing it. I don't think it's particular to this region or anything. I think it's probably a pretty widespread thing, and it's just a shame.